Well, we've all been there before when an inconsistent man who has been breadcrumbing you, who pulls away and just disappears, decides to come back. If you've been in a situation like this and it's familiar, come on in. Let's get this. I want to educate every single woman today because this is something that keeps happening in our social world. And I said, you know what? I was having a lovely conversation with one of my friends from Paris. And I was like, girl, you know what? This is a perfect tea. This is perfect tea. So I want you to stand in your power when this happens. And I want you to be fully loved, full of inspiration. Because again, I'm not saying you're going to manipulate the situation, but this is you coming back even stronger than before. So why inconsistent men disappeared? First of all, let's start there. And let's start by saying, coming into my podcast today with Woman Pod with Valarey Atkinson, I want to appreciate all of y'all for coming back in here for me. And everybody on this segment is for everybody to be seen. I want you to know that you're not alone in this and that everything happens for a reason. And I honestly feel like I was meant to teach you all this stuff. So, hey, let's get in it. All right. So, a lot of the time, these men are, I'm going to be real with you. I've been dating for, I would say about a year, maybe 7 months, 9 months. We're getting to a year in December. And a lot of the times men, right, if you're a woman in my podcast, is because they fear commitment. They're not ready to fully dive into a relationship, right? Or they're emotional immature. So they don't know how to get into with their emotions. They don't know how to feel their emotions, or they lack something within themselves that they don't know, right? And also this could be they have options, right? They're dating more than one person. They're dating more than you, right? Or who knows? Maybe they have a whole situationship still going on, or they're still dealing with their baby mama or baby daddy. You know, it's a hefty situation. So in this segment, I want you to understand that every single thing leads to an excuse. And I don't want you to feel like you're the second best because you are already the fucking best. All right. Let's start there. You don't want to consider yourself something less than just because this person's prioritizing other things or people or options. Right. So you have to know why. First off, give me a good reason why you've been gone this whole fucking entire time. Don't come with the bullshit. I want facts. I want facts and spit facts to me. Spit facts. And make sure that when this person's talking to you, that they're being accountable and vulnerable and they're being honest. Like, you have to sense the energy in the room, y'all. Like, you are feminine. How are they talking to you? Are they talking to you in a tone where it's soothing, or is it aggressive, or is it like, where you feel like it's just not adding to the equation? That's exactly what you need to know right now. And I know a lot of my men are like, no, we talk the same all the time. Stop bullshitting me. Stop fucking bullshitting me. I bullshitted all my life and I know what a bullshitter is, okay? All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Let's dive deep today. Okay, why does he come back, Val? Why does he come back all of a sudden? Why does he come back? Because, babe, men get what they can't have. They'll chase what they can't have, right? And it's like, it's a domino effect, right? So this man knows that he doesn't have access. So what does he do? He goes and chases the woman. He chases the woman. I gotta have that. I want that. Of course he wants this. Of course he do. Fuck. I want me too all the time, every day. So they're bored, right? They get bored. They're in their fucking room. There's nothing better to do. They stop doing what they was doing. All of a sudden, there's nothing going on in their life. They're not busy. So then things start to come up. Emotions, right? Feelings that they've probably been avoiding. Let's just say it. Emotions. Trauma. Possibly trauma, right? Probably things, memories from their past relationships. Like, things start to come up, And this is another segment. I'm not going to get too deep about this, right? Because, again, we're just talking about when a man comes back all of a sudden. We're not going to deal with the trauma bullshit. That is for another day. He can go to therapy for that. There is therapy out there. There is therapy. So get into it. Or he senses you're pulling away. right? So this is my perfect method for me. Like when I feel that a man is just not giving me the time of day, and I tend to not give a man any attention ever. I mean, yeah, if he's consistent, I'll text back, right? Absolutely fucking yes. Absolutely fucking yes. Yes, of course. If you're consistent, you're texting me, you're following up with me, yeah, I'm going to reach out to you. Even if I'm a little busy, I might be an hour, 2, 3 hours late. But I'm not always going to be like that. Like, I'm not going to look at your message. Like, no. So the thing is, they feel you're getting busier. You're getting mysterious. You're like focused on something other than them, meaning that you're not obsessed with the dude. Okay, you're not obsessed with the dude. You're obsessed with you, your goals, your vision, whatever it is that you're doing. Doing you. Or maybe you're out with your girls having coffee. Or maybe you're like me, putting a podcast out for everybody to see me and to hear me and to teach you guys these things. Or again, you're doing something like a hobby, right? You're out at the gym with your girlies or by yourself. You're focused on your training, your fitness, your health, or you're reading a book. I hope you are. Or you're just busy in general. Maybe you're a single mom. Maybe you're married. I don't know. This can go any freaking way. It can. Trust me, it can. So the divine feminine, this is why I teach the divine feminine. This is why I tell you, give a man space. And I'm saying, like, you went off to Mars, bitch, and you just went off to Mars and did something at Mars. You started doing something right. You started cooking. You started, I don't know, decorating your space, putting a little more aura into your, you know what? Now that I said that, let me go get it for you guys. Let me show you something. Let's lighten the mood. Let's get into our feminine energy and treat ourselves to some beautiful, beautiful flowers. Smell those beautiful flowers. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Aren't they? They are. Treat yourself to something beautiful today. Go out and do something nice for you. And, just light a candle and rest. Rest. Peace and quiet time to relax, to process everything that's going on. Right? To process everything that's going on in your life. And like this moment of yours, you need to shine bright like a diamond. I don't want you to think that you're not enough, because you are enough. The divine feminine doesn't need validation. She already knows she is the prize. It's just simple as that. She feels safe in her own skin. She feels safe alone. She doesn't need from someone. If anything, she's a giver and she's a lover, and she's someone who people can come to, right? It's, you radiate that aura. You're just glowing. You're glowing and you're gorgeous. You're just loving. It's aura. So when you do that, you realize your value. You know what you have in you. And maturity is a big thing, right? This is that a part of you, by this person stepping away, it's not part of your emotions, right? Or reactions. It's trusting in the process. This is why I got this. You gotta trust in the process. You trust yourself. You don't need, like, it's nice to have a community, right? It's nice to have our girls and chit chat about everything that's going on. But when you fucking know. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. And what are things that can teach you to realize your value, ladies? Like, and I'm going to share a story about me, right? So I was dating a gentleman. This is a long distance thing, right? We met on a dating app. And he was very inconsistent in the beginning. Well, first of all, he was in and out, right? Like we would chit chat, like we would go weeks without chit chatting and stuff. And finally, I got tired of his bullshit and I fucking like unmatched with him, right? Like yeah. But he followed me on social media. So mind you, he contacted me through social media. He was actually telling me like, Val, like, I noticed that you unmatched with me on Hinge. And I was like, well, yeah, you kind of stopped talking to me. So I figured you was busy. And I got, I had other things to do. I had bigger fish to fry. I'm joking. Not that I was frying fish, but, I was dating, like, I don't even know who the fuck I was dating at the time. I already fucking forgot. See, that's how fast I move on, y'all. And ladies, that's because you know your worth. Like, you're not going to settle for less or no. So mind you, this gentleman, all of a sudden decides to plan. We hang out. We have our first date. It was at his house, and I met his friends right off the bat, which was insane to me because I was like, holy shit, I'm meeting his friends. I'm meeting his family, met his dogs. And it was just like, okay, this is cool. Like, this is cool. It's new to me. I'm never really on a first date, but it was fun. I had fun with them, and I had fun with his friends. It was fun. There was a little altercation that happened with somebody else, like another woman, but nothing to do with him. It was more of like what he was doing that made her come to me like, no, ma'am, you're doing too much. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? This lady had came up to me, and mind you, she was a loud one for the crowd. Like, everybody there was fucking like doing their own thing, and so was I. But I'm a big conversator. Like, I talk to a lot of people, and I talked to his friends. We were all talking. He was busy barbecuing, and I do believe men need his space, right? So I would go up to him a little bit and then talk to him for a bit and then go talk to his friends. And like, I was just everywhere, girl. But a part of me was just like doing the thing, right? So I was helping him like clean up, like get plates organized for the barbecue, right? Because he had guests he had invited. And in my mind, a light bulb hit, like, girl, well, you're also a guest, but I did it out of service. Acts of service is my love language. So I started helping him, and then the girl comes up to me and she's like, you shouldn't be doing that. And I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And she's like, come here, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Like, and she's like, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't know, like, you're doing too much. Like, no, ma'am. Like, like, this is exactly how she was acting. Like, I'm not even joking. No, ma'am. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, he should, no, like, girl, I don't know. It was funny. So anyhow, she's like, and then he's on his phone, and I'm like, girl, like, what? Like, okay, yes, he was on his phone, but I'm not, in my head, I'm not thinking anything because I trust me, bitch. And I'm not the type of girl that's gonna go look through your fucking phone, especially on the first date. No, that's a major red flag for a dude, right? And I trusted this dude. I wasn't even like trying to like investigate, because this is the dating phase. You're trying to court me, so basically it's like, if I like you, if I don't, we'll figure it out. Not that we'll figure it out, but I'll figure if this is a good connection, right? This is something that I want, but there was a lot of qualities in that first date that I liked about him. That he cooked, yeah, and he offered certain things to me, and he made me feel like home. Like, there was things like, oh, do you need this, do you need that? Like, he was very open to that. And I love that. I mean, I would say that the phone part, I wasn't really worried about it because it was our first date. And it's not like I was worried or concerned because, like, it was the first date, y'all. Like, imagine me being, like, on the fourth date, bitch, and you're still on your motherfucking phone. Now, that's a red flag. So get this. So this guy, or this gentleman, I tell him about this, right? I bring him into the room, and I was like, look, I need to talk to you because this happened. And he's like, what? And he kind of stays quiet for a bit to process his emotions, right? Intelligently. And then he finally says, well, he's like, well, I don't think it's a problem. He's like, you were doing what you wanted because you wanted to do it. And just because she's saying for you not to do it, that's like a thing for her. I was like, it's a her issue. I was like, no, I know. And I was like, I'm just letting you know because I don't know this girl, but she's your guest. And again, I don't know her. I was like, but this is what's going on. I was like, that's all. I was like, I don't want no drama. I was like, I'm just letting you know what the conversation was. But again, I'm just going to put my energy back. I probably shouldn't have told him that. But anyways, I went about it and fucking said it. I'm a Sag, so we vocal. So anyhow, that ends. And yeah, that was one thing that I noticed. Like, I had to step up, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take it as a moving forward. At that point, I decided to pull away from this. I did. I'll never forget, it was Father's Day. The very next day, I think I panicked because I forgot that it was our first date, and the next day was Father's Day. And it hit me, dude. It hit me. Because he woke up and he was just like, oh, it's Father's Day. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like in shock. And I was like, oh my God, it's Father's Day. And I thought about my dad. I got a little emotional, but I didn't want him to see this part of me because I was scared. I honestly pulled away. I know I did. And I'm like a little emotional, and that's okay. But I remember I don't know what he said, but he said something in the midst of like, well, I need to get ready to go to church, you know, because they're gonna like, his dad also passed away, right? Many years ago when he was really young. And I told him about my dad's passing too. And then he says, well, my sister, you know, texts me and everybody's gonna go to the church because they're gonna have like a little memoir, you know, like for my dad. And I said, well, you can go. I was like, you can go because it sounds like you really want to go. I don't know if maybe he couldn't speak up to me and he wanted just to make me leave or he wanted me to go. I didn't know. And I wasn't going to try to sit there and contradict the fact that obviously I felt like I had to pull away. And I'll never forget. I said, you know what? It sounds like you really need to go. So I'll go. I was like, I'll go, you know? So I pack up my stuff and then his friend shouts out, you're not going to go to church with us? And I said, no, because I didn't even have extra clothes. And I was just like, no, we had gone out the night before. Well, actually, yeah, we did go out that night. And yeah, guys, like it was crazy. Like, so anyhow, I know I went into different spiral here. I went through my emotions. Let the emotions flow out. That's part of the process. So then that happens. And I pulled back. Because I had to process everything that was going on, right? Everything happened that one day. And I was like, oh my God, like this is new to me. I don't know if I'm freaking out or I don't know if I'm overthinking it or I just need to trust what I feel. So I went home, sat with the energy. He followed up. I don't remember too much, but I remember he followed up a couple times and then I didn't hear from him again. Like he pulled away also. And then he decided to make plans and we ended up going to we actually went out of town this time. He was very sweet. He took me to a nice baseball game for the first time. I've been wanting to go to a baseball game and I manifested that. That's crazy. I told him that too. And, you know, for me, it was part of knowing that I had to process my emotions like in this moment. Like, is this a red flag or is this genuine effort? Like, is he really trying to get to know me, right? Like, so for me, I wasn't chasing. He was the one chasing me. And it was like, he was the one reaching out and he would ask about my date. I mean, maybe he took like a fucking week to respond, but it was always something, right? It was always something like he's busy and so forth. And then at that point, when I pulled away, he was going through something too. So it was like I guess we were both like on different wavelengths there. And I said, you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it. Like, obviously he's going through some stuff. He doesn't want to talk about it. I'm gonna give him a space. He needs it. Like, I'm not gonna I just told him like the only thing I did make it to him was like you're just being inconsistent. You know how communication's a big thing for me, and I don't like that I have to tell you this, you know, but part of me growing is letting you know now before I would bottle up my emotions. You know, unhealed Val would probably be mad or resentful towards the situation, and I don't want that. Because I just met the dude. I had to let him do. So that's exactly what I did, right? So I wasn't afraid of losing him. I wasn't afraid of not being kept or being chased or not being chosen. Because I remembered that a part of me before he came along had always been like, I'm always going to put myself first. And I'm always going to check in with Val, how she's feeling and what makes her feel good and what doesn't. In the moment, I had to process everything that was going on. Honestly, I can say this. He made me see within myself parts of me that I didn't see without him or with him. So I enjoyed being myself around him because I could just be myself and act who I am, like be my funny self. Like, honestly, that's exactly who the fuck I am with him. I'm loud, I'm fucking funny, and I'm a chatterbox, right? And then, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just like it flowed, right? So for me, it was more of like understanding what Val was going through in that moment, right? Like what he was doing, how he's showing up for me. Does he give me clarity? Which, again, he came back. And let's get deeper into this. I had asked the universe, if this man is supposed to be in my life, show me a crap. And not even crazy enough, that same day I was on Reels on Instagram and I was just scrolling. And I don't know, out of nowhere, of all Reels, a gentleman's cooking crab. And it's a little crab emoji on the recipe. And I was like, oh my God, the universe delivered. And that's when I knew, okay. I was all right, universe. This is something that I manifested as well. And so then I say to myself, I'm not afraid of what's happening because I'm allowing it to be. I don't know, and that's okay. But let me reassure Val that, again, trusting in herself, trusting in her love, her kindness, her generosity, her empathy. I'm not going to let my past traumas, my past relationship issues get into this. I'm taking action when I didn't do that before in my past relationships, right? So he clarified when he came back, right? It had been a month and a half. He specifically said that. And I was like, well, I lost count because I thought he was gone. Like, I really just thought he was gone. I was like, I had, And so he's asking about me. He's asking how I've been. I had told him everything that's been going on in my life. I'm not going to get too specific, but I did specify things that I'm going through currently. And he was just like, and just telling me like, okay, so what's the plan? I told him the plan. I said, this is what's been going on, the support system that I have right now and what I'm actively doing at this time. And he stated, he's like, well, look, I am sorry that, I haven't been consistent. I've been busy. I was kind of depressed because a lot of stuff was happening with me. And I'm not going to go to specifics because, again, I respect him. But he mentioned that. And I said, you know what? Thank you for being accountable for your actions because I wasn't going to try to contradict any of that. Like, honestly, you want to say that? Okay. I take your word for it right now because I trust, right? So he went ahead and told me that he took accountability. Although there's still that pulling away, like he just pulls away. So I said, okay. I was like, okay, then I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry because honestly, I can't, like, no. The thing is, I want to step into my divine feminine, and that's a part of me that loves her right now, where I don't need to chase. I don't need to punish this man because I'm not. There's no way I'm going to do that. But I'm just observing the behavior that he's doing. I observe now. I don't retaliate. I don't try to justify the situation. I don't try to assume because assuming leads to other crazy chaos, and I'm not doing that. I used to do that. I'm not going to do that again. So I'm just going to observe. And you're probably wondering, well, are you going to keep your options open? Obviously, I'm not committed. There's no ring on this finger. So anything that comes to me, I'm going to let it be. I'm only allowing space for the universe to give me what I'm deserving of. And again, create that authenticity to myself and not being closed off to the universe because we cannot close off. We can't. We have to be open in order for us to receive anything. And that means anything, ladies, like anything, money, opportunities. Like we have to be open. We have to be in receiving mode. We have to be givers and things as places, right? Maybe I'm giving him something that he didn't receive before because again, going back to the very beginning, right? Like something that he lacks in himself. And I cannot justify that. But maybe he needs to find that emotional security with himself, right? Maybe he does have it. I don't know. And I'm not going to try to sit here and figure it out for him or me. But what I do know is that I've set boundaries and I've cleared those boundaries with him and I made them very clear that I will not tolerate this. I will not tolerate someone who doesn't communicate to me because, again, I don't want to close off again and fear the worst because I don't want to be in that state of mind anymore. I don't want to be guarded. I'm tired of being guarded. I've been guarded all my life. I've been afraid to let people in. I've been afraid of intimacy. I've been afraid of connecting with people. And he knows this. He knows this because I told him this. I was like, I had a hard time. Let's say this. I was celibate. And I said, if I do this with you, like, I only do it with you. That's it. Like, I don't want to be confronted with other things and people. So if you're going to be doing other things with other women, then that's okay with you. But I am not going to be with someone who does that with me. I was like, that's something that I will not do. I made that very clear. And yeah, like that entire processing time was for me. I am the fucking prize. Like I am. Like just because I broke my celibacy journey doesn't mean he took control of everything. No. Because look at what I just said. What did I just expose of myself? I went a whole period not being intimate with someone to finally allowing someone to come in without fearing the worst. I did allow him to show me the way back to that, and not being scared, right? Like connecting intimate wise. And I mean, it was a beautiful experience. Like it felt good. It felt good because I didn't feel pressured. I didn't feel obligated. I didn't feel forced. But it was two of us agreeing with this, right? Agreeing with this, right? And being good with ourselves and say, hey, do we want this? And he said, yes, I want to too. And I want to, yeah. So I was like, okay, good. Because usually in situations I felt forced. Many times I felt forced because a guy wanted to. Majority of the time it's the fucking guy. In this moment I felt we both wanted to. We both were ready. Like it just felt right. And it was scary, but we had to have that talk before we got connected like that. So I wanted to close this on a positive note. When a man does come back, it's not about him, babe. It's about you. It's about you. Are you willing to accept inconsistency, or do you require devotion? The choice is always yours, right? I expressed my story to you guys. And if you're wondering what devotion means for you, I'm going to break it down to you, right? He shows up when he needs to. It's because he values you. He values your time. Not when it's convenient. Not when it's convenient, because again, that's something that you have to learn. And I know it's a hard lesson, right? He only reaches out when he feels like it, right? Does he listen to you when you talk? Does he take the time to share things about him and you? Like, does he show that he cares about you, that you're taken care of? Does he remember little things about you that he talked about in that conversation? Like, little things mean a lot. And actions speak louder than words. Is he showing up how he said he was? And when he does see this within you as a woman, does he appreciate you? Does he give you that appreciation? Does he show up? Like, does he show up? Because you're the one that gives him that energy to create that, for him to come back, right? A magnetic pull, for him to come and for him to stay, stay. Meaning that you make him feel safe, you make him feel seen, you make him feel, there's so many things, right? A man will only stay when he feels these things with a woman. And you're not an option. You're not an option anymore. You're his, and he wants to be with you because he knows that he wants you and only you. And for you, for yourself, I want you to continue to show up for yourself no matter what the circumstances are. Respect yourself. I want you to still continue your goals, your healing, your joy. Obviously, I'm doing my hobby. This is my goal, my baby. I want you to abandon yourself when someone abandons you. So even because this person decided to pull away and comes back when he feels like it, I don't go and abandon myself. I go back to her and I create a safe space for her to recognize her beauty, right? And to show up for her in ways that I love. And things that I love are the simple things. And that's that. I love candles. I love flowers. I love coffee. I love quality time, and I love food. So those are the things that I love and I continue to do for myself. You don't need anybody's validation. You don't. I don't want you to feel like you have to show up a certain way for this person for them to come back. No. Then you're chasing at this point. I don't want you to do that. Because a man is going to feel when he needs to come towards you. And not because you decided to post a picture. Because let's be real, women, we want to show up, we want to show off, we want to show we're being taken care of. But limit yourself to having to show this person things, right? And I know there was things about me that I was showing, but it's a price that I'm willing to say and talk about it confidently and not be abandoning myself here. Where this is taking me, I don't even worry anymore. I'm not focused on him. I'm focused on me and my goals, and I appreciate everything. I don't regret any of it. I don't. And if you're listening to this, thank you. That's all that I have to say. I don't have nothing else to say. Every moment that I shared was great. You showed a part of me that I loved, that I didn't see within myself, to be able to share with somebody else and not be afraid. But it was part of letting go. And that was healing for me, because for a long time I was afraid to be intimate with people. I was afraid to connect. I was afraid to be judged. That was wounded for so long because she was afraid. She was afraid. But I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because I'm not afraid to lose someone, you know? I'm not. And that's the beautiful process of healing, is that you take your power back by just allowing things to be, and you still create a space for you, for yourself, your aura. You're magnetic. I don't want you to abandon yourself. And we don't play games in this podcast. It's not about the games. It's not about that, because that's not something that I teach here. But I will say this, I simply remove myself from the equation, and I step back, and I create safety with Val. I connect with her in ways that I probably didn't know, and rest and take my time each day and just keep pouring into my cup. And I want y'all to keep pouring into y'all's cup today. I want you to take this time to reflect on the things that you love, and that you appreciate. Whether that's your kids, whether that's your family, whether that's you packing your bags and going to your favorite place, connecting with like friends from different places, or journaling. Just do things that make you happy. And maybe you try that new hobby you've been wanting to try. You just don't try because you're scared. But I'm going to end it today on this positive note. Thank you guys again for tuning in with me, with the Woman Pod, with Valarey Atkinson. Take this time to enjoy your time. Remember, when someone leaves, reflect. Much love and light to you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.